Welcome to SportsBanter. This is Bryce, and I'm joined by Luca and Calvin. And this week, we're going to be talking about our favorite NFL draft prospects. But before we get to that, I want to talk about Julian Edelman because we learned yesterday that he retired. Do y'all have any words on Julian Edelman?
He had a good career. Proud of him. Good job.
Yeah, awesome career. He's Super Bowl MVP. I mean, that's one of the biggest honors you could have. Yeah.
Yeah, did y'all know
awesome
that
player.
He was never a Pro Bowler, ever?
Really?
He lacks a lot of the big titles. I mean, Super Bowl MVP is one of the only ones that he has besides his rings. He wasn't really, if you look at his stats and you look at his accomplishments, he wasn't really that good of a player in all honesty. But he did do a lot for the league, and he did have a good career overall. So good for him.
He had a good career, but he wasn't like every single year he was an all-star. But he was a good player. You would want him on your team. That's how I see it.
Yeah. Dude, a lot like when I looked at those stats, I was like only 3 1,000-yard seasons. Like I thought he was better than that.
But his best was, I think how you can remember him the most fondly was the postseason. When it came to the playoff games and everything, he was a beast.
Yeah.
He was a monster.
So he's almost like a big game player. He may not show up all the time, but when it matters, he's there. So,
that is true.
Yeah, he's had a great. He has. It doesn't, to me, Pro Bowl in all honesty doesn't really matter. In the big scheme of things, so I think he's had a great career.
He's a big game player when he actually is playing in those games, because injuries was a big factor on like his career.
That's true. Yep. Yeah. You're right. But you know what could happen? I sort of there's a part of me wish that he didn't say he would retire, because it'd be insane if Brady was just like, come down to Tampa Bay. I mean, he's not as good as he used to be. So I mean, I don't know how productive he would be in Tampa Bay, but that would have just been funny.
Look, Gronk is not as good as he used to be, and look what he's doing now in Tampa Bay.
Well, that's Gronk. You're comparing a man to a god right there. You just got
Exactly.
All right. Anywho, we're gonna touch upon my favorite NFL draft prospects first, and the first one. Okay, man, it's Jamar Chase. He went to my high school. I have to talk about him. Like, I can't just not talk about someone who went to my high school and is going to be a first-round pick. Like,
whoa! If we're talking about someone who went to my high school, I got stories to tell you. No, I'm kidding. Go.
Well, I'll tell you about Jamar Chase. All right, in 2019, he was an absolute beast with Burrow. 84 receptions. 1,780 yards and 20 touchdowns. And that was like his first, well, it was the second season at LSU, but it's the first one where he really got a chance to shine. And he really revealed, in that time that he is a true deep threat. He was really good at the deep ball. And I mean, I think he still is, because he tested really well at the LSU Pro Day. And I think his size is going to be great for the NFL. Honestly, I think he might be one of the first non-QBs to be taken in the draft. So I'm excited to see where he goes. I'd love the Bengals to get him because, if we can stack the Bengals with like LSU talent, I mean, what's there not to like about that?
I have a question, Bryce. Would you rather have Jamar Chase or Seawell?
You just like butchered that so bad. Anywho,
I know,
I'd rather Jamar
anything.
Chase. Instantly.
Really? Okay, you got any explanation?
Yeah, because the offensive line talent is very deep in this draft. So, although I think it'd be awesome to have both, or to have either one of these players, but I feel like it's easier to replace offensive line in the draft than it is with wide receiver. And I also think that Jamar Chase has like star written all over him.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, no, I don't want Joe Burrow to die. All right? Don't get me wrong. I don't want Joe Burrow to die. But I also don't think that they have to pick Penei Sewell because that's not the case. They don't have to. But yeah, going a little long there. Next player I've got is Patrick Surtain II, the cornerback for Alabama. And the thing that I saw with him is he's more of a man coverage guy. He also has a high football IQ, and I think that'll translate well to the NFL draft or for NFL teams. He's not the fastest quarterback or cornerback compared to like Nick Farley, or Caleb Farley. Man, all right, don't listen to me. But Patrick Surtain is like, he's got great ball skills, and that's what really intrigues me. He's not an athletic beast, but ball skills. What you laughing about, Luca? You hating on the man's ball skills?
He's too good with it.
He can handle those balls well.
Dude.
Moving
Moving on.
on to Jeremiah Owusu-Koromoah, the linebacker for Notre Dame. He's got great speed. He's very aware as a linebacker, which is good. And he's not the best at tackling, but he's made some nasty tackles at Notre Dame. I feel like he could be... You can argue between him and Micah Parsons as being the number one linebacker in the draft. Like, you could talk me into taking either one of them. But I just... I'm excited to see where Jeremiah Owusu-Koromoah will go. You know, what NFL team he'll go to.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. And the last player I want to talk about is Gregory Rousseau, edge rusher out of Miami. And he stands out to me as an exciting guy to watch. Now, like Jamar Chase, he opted out of the 2020 college football season because of COVID. But I think that Gregory Rousseau could be a big threat in the NFL. I mean, in 2019, he had 15 and a half sacks. And although he really, relied on his speed, he's got good technique. And I think that if he bulks up a little bit, which he's gained 13 pounds in between when he last played and when he measured in at Miami's pro day. So I think that Rousseau, if he gains enough mass, gains enough, strength, he could be a dangerous player in the league. But I also think that Rousseau is one of the kind of low-key picks. Like, he could go in the second round.
Yeah, he is talented. Do you think most teams would be taking a slight risk with choosing him, though?
I think so. That's why I don't know if Gregory Rousseau is a solidified first-round pick, because there is risk.
Yeah. There's definitely talent, but like you said, he's got to bulk up a little bit and stuff like that. But I'm hopeful for him. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. All right, Lucas, so you got some guys right now, I guess?
Oh, yeah, I do. You thought butchering of names might have been done for today's episode, but it's not. Here comes me. My first pick is Najee Harris, running back from Alabama. This guy is awesome. If any of y'all, did any of y'all watch the championship against Ohio State?
Yeah, but I can't recall what happened.
You can't recall. Harris just decimated Ohio State. He was like a huge driving factor of a few touchdowns, if I'm remembering correctly, and wasn't someone else. But he's been killing it. This past season in 2020, he scored 26 touchdowns. Season before that, 13 touchdowns. Both the 2019 season and the 2020 season over 1,000 rushing yards. He is just awesome. He's 23. I think anyone that picks him up, you get a good running back. I think he's talented enough to be in the NFL. I'm seeing a lot of predicted drafts, and a lot of people have this guy going way later than I would expect. I get he's a running back, but I think he's good enough to be in a lot of teams. Yeah, I'm not sure where he's going to go. I've heard Falcons. I've heard Steelers might want him. I think he would be very helpful for that Steelers team.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because you have to remember, running back right now is one of the positions that's the most undervalued. It's just they're losing value fast. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, you don't pay these running backs big bucks because you can get production from other people." So, seeing a running back like him fall could easily happen. In the last draft, I think that we didn't really see a running back off the board until the last pick, right? Or one of the last picks. So
I don't remember.
In the first round? Oh, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, yeah. 32nd overall to the Chiefs.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So running backs don't really go that early. So it is possible that he falls pretty far, but he is still a really good talent. He's put up really good numbers, and whoever gets him is getting a really good player.
I agree. Yeah. Moving on to another Alabama player, Devontae Smith. He is a 22-year-old wide receiver who's predicted to go very high in the draft, like number 2 or number 3, I'm pretty sure. And he's been awesome as well. He's received like almost 2,000 yards this past season. I believe it was like 1,800 and some change. I can't remember exactly. Caught 23 touchdowns. The season before that, he caught 14 touchdowns with it was like 11 or 1,200 yards received. He's just very, very talented. Again, I mean, I'm pretty sure every single team would take him. I don't really know where he's going to go. I've heard the Giants might end up taking him, but I'm not 100% convinced on that. But like Najee Harris, I think he will prosper. He'll be productive, I mean, in the NFL. Moving on to my third pick, Kyle Pitts. He's a tight end coming out of Florida, and he's very good. He's a little younger. I think he's 20 years old, and his breakout season was last year. 770 receiving yards, 12 touchdowns. He was killing it for Florida. Florida was a good team, but had some mistakes, especially against LSU, right?
Some shoe throwing went down that day.
Yeah.
Some genuine game throwing.
Yeah, definitely. But this kid is really, really good, and I think the Falcons should get him. They need him. I think he helps their team a lot. He's not defense. You can't fix their defense, but I think if you can get Kyle Pitts for your tight end position, that helps the Falcons.
Hey, he's a tight end that pretty much like plays wide receiver.
Oh yeah. He's almost like a rare type of player. You don't quite get them all that time.
Dare I say a unicorn?
What do you mean?
Crickets.
His coach calls him a unicorn. A lot of people that's what he's been coined as. He is such a rare player, something that you don't see. A combination of fast and big and bulky and strong, and like able to catch the ball, able to move and make those big plays. I mean, he's just a player that you do not see a lot of nowadays.
Fast, big, and bulky. The Kyle Pitts autobiography. There. You owe me money, Kyle, if you make that a real thing. Anyways, thank you, Calvin, for that knowledge that I did not have. Moving on to my final draft pick, or my prospect, Christian Darrisaw. He's an offensive tackle for the Virginia Tech. I don't have much on him, but if we're talking about big, he's big. He's a beast. 6'5", 314 pounds. Ooh. Oh my gosh, I would not want to get in a fight with him. He's awesome. I'm pretty sure he might be going to the Vikings. I think they might want him, but this is all prediction stuff. We really don't really know. But yeah, he's awesome. If you don't really know him, check out his highlights. He's really good. I'm done.
Yeah, Calvin, you have a couple players that you wanted to talk about, right?
Most of my players were the same as Luca, so I'm not really going to go over too many of them. The only one that I actually had different that I really wanted to talk about was Jaylen Waddle. Waddle is he's a really good player. I think that he doesn't get as much respect as he should, especially since he has Devontae Smith and Jamar.
Yes.
Those other players going up too. But I think that he will be one of the best in this class, even though he's currently valued under them. Especially given time to grow and, get better in the NFL. He'll be a good pick. He seems like one of those Steelers kind of picks where they just take a wide receiver and he instantly pans out. But so look out for him. He did decent last year. I mean, once again, he was overshadowed by Devontae, but it is what it is. I think he will be good.
Well, hold on. Like, the bigger story here is that he was coming back from injury. I mean,
Yeah.
that's probably a big concern with a lot of these teams, is that do you want Jaylen Waddle, who is just coming back from injury, or do you want the Heisman winner from last year, Devonta Smith?
Yeah, and that's a fair point. I mean, obviously, I think that you would take Smith every day of the week.
Yeah.
But the one thing to consider is that, Waddle is still a good player. I think dropping him past the third round is... I don't see him falling much farther than the third round.
I think he could.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could be picked by the end of the first round. Who knows?
All right, but that's all the players I think we have for today, right?
You're not talking about Penei Sewell?
I want to.
I can, sure.
I mean,
I have
you told me you wanted to
right
talk
here.
about him.
Yeah, all right. I'll talk about him. I got you. So, Seawell is also what you might call a unicorn.
Sorry.
Hey. Sorry, how do you pronounce it,
What?
Bryce?
Penei Sewell.
Sewell. Wow.
Sue.
Okay. Penei Sewell is what you might also call a unicorn. He is just a tackle that is just a good size, and he has such good foot technique. He's always positioning himself in the best way to make the block. He has all these different blocks that he can make. He can make almost anything you will see in the NFL. And like his college career, right in the mic, man.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Disinfect that mic. Jeez, him.
Looking at his college career, there's so many different plays that he's made that just are wow blocks, So he is just going to be a fantastic tackle in the league. And, I mean, as I said before, he's good enough to go maybe pick number 3. But we'll see.
Are the 49ers really going to do that?
No, probably not.
Yeah, no.
Hey, can I butt in for 1 second?
Yeah.
Wait, Calvin, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
We're all forgetting one person, though. He is probably the best player to come from this past season, and he's going to dominate the NFL. I'm talking about Mac Jones. Might be the greatest quarterback of all time. He might be the GOAT. He might be the GOAT of all sports. Nah, in all seriousness, I got nothing against him, but the people hyping him up, they're just insane. He's good, but I don't see all the hype exactly.
Look, all the hype is that the 49ers really, really like Mac Jones, and I don't understand it.
I think it's a smoke screen.
I hope it's a smoke
I think he's
for
good.
them.
I think he's good. I think he'll be fine in the NFL. But I mean, I don't think he's gonna turn you into a playoff winning team right now.
I feel like he's the
That's
opposite of Jimmy G. He
What do you mean? He doesn't date porn stars?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And with that, that's the end of the video.
Let's go.
If you all enjoyed this amazing content, like, comment, subscribe, for more. And, what about we're having a live stream on a NFL draft night, right?
Are we? Yeah, let's do it.
Dude, stay
Yeah.
tuned for that. I mean, because that's going to be exciting. I mean, if this wasn't exciting, I mean, you got to wait till the draft, man. When the draft starts, it's going to get rowdy up here in SportsBanter.
Oh yeah. Woo.
It's gonna get crazy. Every single pick gonna be going just batshit wild, man. I mean, the Browns have like 10 picks. Every single one, don't care who it is, I will be out of my seat screaming.
And I'm and ladies and gentlemen, you have to tune in because I'm cutting a shoot promo on Trevor Lawrence. When he gets drafted, I will cut a promo on him instantly.
You heard it here first, live on SportsBanter. Luca is cutting a promo on Trevor Lawrence on draft night. And with that, I will wish you all a good night.